My name is Tom Trong, and I work at SoloPoint Solutions. Here at SoloPoint, we specialize in the placement of mechanical, electrical, and manufacturing engineering professionals. I'm here to talk to you about a subject that comes up regularly from our contractors, and that is, am I a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor? This is a very important question, and one that should not be passed up lightly. First of all, let's define what does a 1099 really mean. According to the IRS, a 1099 is a self-employed consultant or a business performing services for other businesses. The term 1099 refers to the IRS form that you receive at the end of the year, which shows your earnings for that given year. Now that we've defined what a 1099 is, who really qualifies? There are many factors to consider, but the IRS looks at three main criteria. The first one is behavioral, or who dictates your daily workflow. If your client determines your daily workflow, which would include the time you start, the order which the task has to be performed, or how to perform the task, that would typically disqualify you as a 1099. Another factor to consider in the behavioral category is whose equipment do you use. If you were to use your client's computer and or software, this would typically raise a red flag with IRS. The second main criteria that they look at is financial. As a 1099, you should be paid per project and not per hour. Typically, a 1099 would submit a proposal, and then at the end of the project, they would submit an invoice to their client and not be paid per hour. The final criteria to look at is the type of relationship. As a 1099, the relationship should be stated as a corp-to-corp and not as an employer-employee relationship. A 1099 is not an employee of the client, and therefore you should not receive any benefits from the customer or the client, such as vacation, medical, dental, or 401k. Now that we have defined what a 1099 is and who really qualifies, let's talk about the tax ramifications. As a 1099, you are both the employer as well as an employee, and therefore you would have to pay for both the employer and employee portion of Social Security and Medicare tax. Currently, the Social Security tax stands at 6.2% for the employer and employee, and the Medicare tax stands at 1.45% for the employer and the employee. Therefore, as a 1099, in order to pay for both the Social Security and Medicare, that stands at 15.3%. Another factor to consider is the client will not be withholding any federal or state taxes from your paycheck, and therefore you would have to file quarterly taxes and allocate enough funds to pay for those taxes. One more factor to consider as a 1099 is unemployment benefits. Many 1099 mistakenly believe that they could file for unemployment benefits at the end of the project. This may or may not be true. In order to collect unemployment benefits, the employer must have paid into your unemployment fund in the previous 2 quarters. Since you are both employer and employee, no one would have been paying into your funds. So therefore, if you worked in the previous 2 quarters as a 1099, you would not qualify for unemployment benefits. Here at SoloPoint, we work with a vast number of clients and contractors every year. A very common problem we see is the misclassification and non-compliance of the employment status on both the employer as well as the employee. This can result in serious penalties, fines, and back taxes. The way SoloPoint protects our clients is to properly vet and classify every employee. For those who do not qualify as a 1099, we would classify them as a W-2 employee and pay their necessary Social Security and Medicare tax, as well as provide them with liability insurance, workman compensation, and because they are a W-2 employee, they would also enjoy the benefits such as medical, dental, and our 401k plan. To find out more about the subject, please visit us at www.solopointsolutions.com. Thank you and have a good day.